Like most other beers manufactured in Mexico, Victoria is owned and distributed by Grupo Modelo, which is controlled by Anheuser-Busch InBev. First brewed in 1865 by Tolca y Mexico, Grupo Modelo bought it out in 1935, just 10 years after it released Modelo Especial and Corona. Is this Vienna-style lager a quality Mexican beer, or should you move on for something else? Find out now on Two Dudes Reviews.
What up, guys? Today we are continuing our journey through Mexican beer with Victoria. And this might be my favorite bottle, just because it's got the, it's the dark bottle. It's painted on label. There's really nothing I don't like about the label. So, Odie digging that. But, alright, let us crack this thing open, pour it up, and get into this thing. Now, I believe this beer is named for the victory the Mexicans had over the French back during the Second Mexican Empire, back when Napoleon III was backing, all this other stuff going on. And Mexico and the United States did not want any European stuff, meddling in, so they wanted to kick them out. So Mexico kicked them out. The United States actually, I don't know how they helped, but supposedly they didn't want them. So I gotta brush up a little more on my Mexican overall history. But this is what I believe Victoria is named for, that victory over the French. But anyways, let's get to the smell. It's got a deeper aroma. A little bit of apricot in there. A little salty, I think. Kind of like a salted fruit, the salted apricot. It's kind of going on in there. You got a little bit of lemon zest, some wheat. Yeah, it smells like a nice, deeper lager style with the the lemon zest and the apricot and everything. It smells pretty refreshing. I'm interested to see what it tastes like, so I'm going to recommend it on the smell. So let's get into the taste. It's almost bold yet crisp at the same time. It's a little bit hoppy, not super, but there is some hoppiness to it, which I think adds with the bold. The flavor doesn't last very long. It kind of circles your tongue, it's there for a second, and then it's gone. So it's not around for too long. There's almost an unsweetened tea thing going on. It really tastes like you've made tea, if you did like a tea beer. There's definitely that kind of dried, herby tea thing going on here. Like if you enjoy a nice iced, non-sweetened tea, I think you're going to dig this. It has that earthiness. There's maybe just a hint of a lemon rind, or maybe even a grapefruit. It's not sour by any means, but you have that slight citrus thing going on in there. You do have a bit of the hoppiness, not extreme. So if you're not a fan of super bitter beers, you're going to still be fine with this. It's not over the top at all. It's just definitely just really kind of earthy. I think the earthy tea with a hint of the citrus rind is pretty much exactly what it tastes like. So I like it. I enjoy a good unsweetened tea, so I'm going to recommend it on that. Apparently the dog likes it as well. But, excuse me. Next is value for price. And again, this is one of the great things about buying a beer in Mexico or Mexican beer. They're not going to be very expensive. Most Mexican beers you're going to be able to find for less than what you get most micro beers in the United States. They're going to be less than many of the Canadian imports outside of maybe a Labatt and a Molson. Kind of on par with Labatt or Molson. So I believe the Victoria cost $1.69. So I paid under $2 for the bottle, which if you can get a single for under $2, that's pretty legit. So I'm going to recommend it on the value for price. Next is distinction. How distinct is it from other Mexican beers? I'm going to take another swig of this. It's really interesting. It's almost, with Mexican beers, with the older style, it's like, you have either the Czech Pilsner or the Vienna Lager. This almost tastes like a hybrid of the two, so which makes it kind of interesting. And I don't get a whole lot or try a whole lot of beers that just have that natural earthy tea taste to it. They're not trying to do anything super fancy, which can kind of backfire. They're not going super cheap on ingredients, which it just leaves you a flat beer that you gotta manually pump your own flavors into it with the fruit and everything. It's not like that. It tastes. It tastes like a hybrid Czech Pil and Vienna Lager made in Mexico. So you got a whole bunch of things. Didn't want Europeans in America, in North America, but the beer was okay. We'll keep the beer. So I'm going to recommend it on distinction. Now, drinkability. Let me get another sip of this again. The drinkability, you're not going to have a problem drinking this at all. It might be, for some people, maybe a little less drinkable than some of the other Mexican beers out there. The combination of the tea thing going on and the slight hoppiness might prevent some people from really kind of exploring it and really drinking a couple of them at once. I think that's one thing that might prevent some people from really kind of getting into it. But that's the thing. A lot of other Mexican beers I could probably drink a little bit easier, a little more if I wanted to. Not to say that this is difficult, because this is not difficult drinking. But a lot of the other Mexican beers, I could sit outside and crack open, pretty much go through the six-pack and feel fine with it. This one, I think I'd start to feel a little weighed down just with everything going on. So I'm going to give it a half for that. But last category is would I buy it again? And honestly, I really would. It has a very nice taste to it. I think it's really well done. It is kind of like if I can't decide if I want a beer or a tea, this one is a great hybrid. I know I'm usually not thirsty for both, but I think this is a great little kind of thing to go for. So I would buy it again, and I think this would be a Mexican beer that I would keep around because I enjoy the flavor of it. It's not too robust, but it's still got some stuff going on. So yes, I'm going to recommend it for that. And overall, 5.5 out of 6 is a great score. I recommend if you haven't checked out Victoria, give it a whirl, see what's up with it. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you dig what I've already kind of covered. But that is a review. If you've had it before, let me know in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. Check out the other beer videos and history and top 10s we got going on. And you can find me on Twitter, 2 Dudes Podcast, or check out the podcast of 2 Dudes in a Six Pack. We got some new episodes coming up. But that is about it. So for myself and for Victoria, go Victoria. Cheers. All right, take it easy.